Hello everyone, my name is Maria and today I'm very excited to make this video. I am participating on the MarkerPop fall giveaway. They have I guess a challenge or contest for us to create a fall coloring project video or tutorial, and to enter that for a chance to win a prize. And I love MarkerPop products, so I want to go ahead and do this this video. I hope it's not going to be too long. This image has quite a few details, so I'm going to try to keep it simple for the sake of the length of the video. And again, this is for the MarkerPop fall giveaway, and I'll be giving some links down below so that if you want to enter the challenge, you can do so. I am using their products. This image is from CC Designs rubber stamps. They don't have it on their shop, but they do have their products. I am also I use Memento ink to stamp my image, and this is a Nina Solar basic white cardstock, which I have cut with one of my favorite things, Dynamics dies, which are these ones here. I just love the pierced border that it does every time you cut your image, and I used the largest one on this set. And also I'm going to use Copic markers to color, and this is a basil burgundy cardstock that I have that I cut 3 3/4 by 5, and then the basic card base for my project. This is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I'll go ahead and start getting to the fun part, which is the coloring. And I already go ahead and stamped it, like I said, with Memento ink for the sake of saving time, and I use my Misti, which I love, because of all the details. I wanted to make sure that it will stamp correctly on there. And here we go. So now I'm going to start with, for the skin, I'm going to use one of my favorite trios for skin, which is E50, E51, and E53, or E50, E51, E53. Which is the proper way when you talk about Copic markers numbering system. I am going to start with the darkest. Sometimes I like to start with the light, but then this time I'll just start with the darkest. And I am going to start with the hairline here. It's casting a shadow, so I'm gonna go ahead and color that. And like I said, because I don't want to make this video too long, I'm gonna move a little quick here. I want to make sure that you can see what I'm coloring, and forgive me if I cover a little bit here when I'm coloring, but I'm gonna move to the hands here just to create a little shadow. But thankfully that's not too much skin to color. I'm gonna go to my E51, and I'll put the top there so you could see. And I'm gonna go over the dark marker. I just put down the color just a little bit, and I'm gonna bring that color out just a bit. And I'm gonna also put a little bit down here. I didn't practice on this image, so I like to try to practice first. But so, oh, and then over here in the hand, just go over a little bit what I just did. And then I'm gonna go with my lightest, which is E50. It's the lightest color I have, and I'm gonna go over the areas that I just did. And what I do, I usually like to go twice at least, because when you lay down the lighter colors, it tends to pull away from the dark ones. So I'm gonna go back to my darkest color, E53, E53, and I'm going to lay down again where I want it to be the darkest. And I'm sorry if I'm going over, if you can't see well, but I'm not used to having my camera positioned the way I have it. I have it on the right hand side, but it's better for video if I do it that way. So I hope you can see what I'm doing there. I'm not putting a whole lot, just a little bit. And I'm gonna go again over what I just did with the lighter tones. I'm gonna use E51. There. And I'm just gonna lightly, just ever so lightly, go over my darker tones. Okay, then I'm going to go with the lightest, which is E50, and I'm going to go over the parts that I want it to be the lightest. And you don't have to do a whole lot, because you know, as this colors dry up, they continue to blend. Okay, now I'm going to go to the hair, which one of my favorite combos for hair is with the E20s, E23, E25, and E27. So I'm going to start with, this time I'm going to start with the lightest because I haven't decided yet how I want the hair to look. So I am going to start with E23, and maybe I'm going to do very simple flicks. Sorry. So let's see, maybe do some very simple flicks here. Or not quite flicking, but just kind of deciding how I want this. And if I use my lighter color, at least it's easier to correct, and I can see how I want my darker color to look. Then I like to turn my paper. And just kind of see how I want those flicks to look. Simple because she doesn't have a lot of hair, so that's going to be good. Then I'm going to go to my next one, E25. And I am going to go over the areas that I would like those hair strands to go. And of course, when you do dark, you want to do less. Depends how dark you want the hair or how light you want the hair. And of course, then I'm going to go with the darkest, which in this case is E27. And this is where I need to be careful. Sometimes I just get so carried away with the dark ones that the hair just gets so dark. And that's basically that. Then I'm going to go back down, E25. And I'm going to go over the dark color I just put down, and then just extend it out some more. And again, it depends if you want the hair to be lighter or darker, then you put more or less. And again, I'm just extending those flicks that I just did. Then my last color is my E23. And I'm just gonna go like back and forth, Try not to do too much because I don't want to lose my flicks. Sort of like that. And that's basically, I usually go twice again, but I kind of like how the hair turned out there, so I'm going to leave it alone. Then the eyes I don't have to color because they're already dark, so I'm going to leave them alone. Then for the sweater, I love the combination of purple and green. So I am going to do the sweater purple, and the pants I'm going to do green, and the boots I'm going to do brown. So one of my favorite combos for purple are V04, V06, and V09. So I am going to go ahead and start with the lightest. Again, I like to start with the dark most of the time, but it depends. And in areas like this that I'm not sure what I'm going to do, I like to go with the lightest. It's safer. Lay my color down so I can see what in the world I'm doing. So this area down below is going to be the darkest because, you know, that's the bottom part, casting a shadow. And then let's see here, I guess this area here will be dark too. Here where there's a fold. And here I just want to put some color down because, you know, purple has a lot of ink and it tends to bleed a little bit outside of the lines. So you have to be ever so careful with purple and red and some of those dark colors. But I just love them. Okay, now I'm going to go with V06. And I am going to go over the areas that I just did, but very careful though, because I don't want to put too much dark. I want some definition, but not overdo it. And this is the first time I color this image, so I want to be careful. I wanted to practice some, but being a mom of a middle schooler and a college girl that I have to drive around quite a bit, I don't have much time to practice, so I have to kind of wing it here. And I hope that it all turns out well. And I try to do as many videos as I can. I love coloring, and this is such a great way for me to, like, I need an excuse for coloring, right? I don't need an excuse for coloring. Let's see, I'm looking at the sweater. Is this part of the sweater there? I think so. I think I'm going to do that one dark. Then I'm going to go with my darkest. Now this one is really dark, so I have to be very, very careful with this one. It's like really, really dark. As you can see, it's really, really dark. I already said that, right? So I'm going to be very careful with this one. If you have used V09, you know it is extremely dark. I don't know why it's so dark, but it is. So you want to be very sparingly with this one. Because I'm going to turn my paper, my cardstock here. And just go a little bit here. Right? Then in this area here, then here in this fold, and I'm going to just sitting down so you know that's going to be dark there. So I'm going to just pull out a little bit there, and here there's a little bit here that I want to take. Then I'm going to turn my cardstock around, do a little bit there too. I think I'm going to leave it there, like that. Then I'm going to go to V06. Oops. And I'm going to go over that really dark color and then just pull it out a little more. I think I'm going to leave that one pretty light so that I can see the difference between here and here. And you'll see when I'm done what I mean. I don't want the areas to blend together to be too similar in color that you can't see the difference where the arm ends and where it starts. Then I'm gonna go here again, a little bit like that. Keep that dark since it is under her arm there. And I have been coloring for a little bit over 4 years, and there is always something to learn. I love to watch other people color because there's so many different techniques, and you never know when you're gonna pick up something from someone else. And everybody has their own technique, which is wonderful. And it's just, you know, and I try not to color like other people. I like to look at their techniques and then take it from there, because everybody has their own unique style. And I always say you have to find your own. Try not to copy someone else's. Learn how to do it. You know, of course, pick up tips from them because there's so many talented artists out there. But then find your own style. And that's what I'm trying to do. All right, so now to finish up the sweater, I've done a few tutorials, and I've mentioned that if you see, instead of going from here out, I'm going the opposite way, because this lighter colors tend to pull from the darker ones. And if I do it the opposite way, it minimizes that. And here I am doing that, just that, and it helps the colors to blend. And this ones, they blend so pretty. At the beginning, when I was starting to color, I was so afraid of the purples. But now I'm not. As you gain confidence, you feel much better about it. And it's not so scary. I'm going to turn this. And then finish up here. And then just looking at it to see if I need to fix anything, maybe do a little dark there. But I think everything else looks fine, other than just add a little bit of dark here with VO9, because this is a little area there where I needed a little bit definition. So that's it for the sweater. Let's see. I didn't think about this here. I wonder what color I should do there. Maybe I could do, for a little bit of a contrast, maybe I could do some blue-green, but I'm going to use the BG72, BG75, and BG78, which is closer to a green than it is to a blue. And I think that will look just beautifully on here. So I am going to keep it simple. Again, these are very small areas, so there's no need to get complicated with it. So I'm just going to go very simple here. Nothing to it. So I am just going to go ahead and color that. That's so pretty. Then to my next one is BG275. And I am just gonna add a little bit of, I may not even do the darkest one, because maybe not, I don't know. We'll see. I may just stay with 2 colors. And turning my paper. So I always like to use 3. So here I go with my third one is BG78, which is the darkest here. And I'm just going to try to use just a little bit, just a tiny bit. All right, and then for here from the bottom, because she's sitting down, you know, that's going to be a darker area. Then I'm going to go back to BG75. And I hope I'm doing this right, this video, because I don't know if MarkerPop actually wanted us to talk or just do a video. So I hope this is okay. I mean, I love, like I said, their products, and this is such a great way to just win and get more supplies. You can never have enough, so that we can create more and share it with you. Okay, now the pants, I am going to use, I was going to use the green. It should still be okay. I wonder now if I should use the brown for the pants, because I'm going to use something colored close to the green family. So let's do a little test here that sometimes I like to do. I'm going to use this dark one here. And then I'm going to compare it to the green. So I think it's fine. It may not be that apparent in the video, but I think it's okay. So I'm going to do YG03. And I'm going to just lay down some color to see how it looks. And the greens go beautifully with the purple. So I am just going to lay down some color here. And I'm going to go with G94. I love this green. It's like a Foster green. It's so pretty. And the area here where she's sitting, that's darker. And this is where the pleats are. And I am not an expert with pleats, but I try my best. But you know, wherever there is a fold and a crease, that's where it's a little darker. And I try my best to color those. Then I'm going to do G99, which is my darkest. And I'm going to turn the paper. And go over the little creases there, and just a little bit here, and a little bit there for definition. Then I'm going to turn my paper again. And I'm going to just, this area here, cast a little shadow because her legs are crossed. And then here, just a tad. And I'm going to go back to G94. And I am just trying to hurry a bit here because I don't want to bore you to death with this video. And just pulling out that color a little more. Pulling that a little more. And again, you know, if you're not happy with how it, like me, if I'm not happy, I just keep going back and forth until I'm happy with the end result. Then I'm going to use, again, YG63. And I'm just pulling this color. Oops, I'm sorry. I think I need one in between. I need YG63, which is a little bit darker. This one seems to be a little too light, so I see this one is a little better for transition. So I am using YG63 to add a little more here. because the YG 03 is a little bit too light. So now I'm using YG 63 to finish it off. And I think I need to refill that marker. It's getting a little dry on me. So here I go. It's blending nicely. As you can see, I'm going to turn the paper so you could see. Then you kind of step back and look at it and see what else do I need to do to bring a little more definition to the pants. Then I go back with, instead of going with the darkest just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go with the second darkest, which is the G94, and then just add a little bit of dark in some areas, just a little bit. Here it's fine, it's just here that I'm not so sure if I'm happy with that. So I am just going to add just a little here to bring a little bit of those definition back. And then again here, just a tad. And I'm going to stop at that. Then the next step is going to be those boots. And I'm going to use also one of my favorite trios, E31, E31, E33, and E37. And on this one, I may just start with the darkest. And I'm going to keep, again, the boots simple. Let's see. Her boot is down here. There's a little bit here. So I am going to make this one dark, and then this one is a little bit exposed out, so I'll keep it lighter. Then here's a little crease there. And again, I'm keeping it simple because of time constraints here. So let me just do that. Oops, let me see the bottom here. Then I'm going to go with E33. And I'm going to pull some of that color out. I like how the E33 and E37 blend. I'm not too crazy about E31 for some reason. It's like, it's not, for me, it's not dark enough, but it seems to work. You just have to work at it a little bit, and then it seems to come together. So here I am, just adding the color. And it takes a little bit away from the other one, but that's okay because I wanted to lighten it up a little bit. And then I'm going to go back with my darkest and see again where I want it to be the darkest. And that's when I really get the definition that I want. So I want to, this looks like folds here, I'm not sure. This one I'll make darker because it's kind of hiding there. There's a little something here. So that's where you can get a little more definition. And then you decide what you want to do with it. So here, I want to go in between, and I may go back and darken that up a little more. And then I'm going to go back with my light one And when you go around the second time, it blends a little better because the paper is already wet. Those looks like buckles there, which I will use a gray in just a second. And I want the boots to look a little rough, like leathery. Again, I'm gonna go with my darker one because this area here, I wanted it to be a little dark. And then here I'm also gonna make it just a little darker because it is hidden. And then I'm gonna grab N2, excuse me, for this buckle here. There we go. All right, now let's see what else. The cup, we could make it like a, maybe an E00. Or maybe let's keep it wide like a styrofoam cup. So I am going to use N0. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shading so that no one thinks that I forgot to color the cup. It's just a little bit of shading there. Then I'm going to go with my colorless blender, and I'm going to blend some of that out a little bit. You know, I've never colored an entire image on a video because it just takes long and I don't want people to get bored. But I hope that you can watch this whole video and not be bored with me. Maybe just add a little more here, just a tad, and then just let it blend. Before I forget, let me add a little color to those earrings. Since it is the fall, let's make it a little bit orange earrings. They're cute. Okay, we're getting close to being done here. Let's see what else. Those leaves, of course, I'm going to make them orange because of the fall, a little brown orange. So I am going to use, I have E95. Oops, excuse me about that. I have E95, but let me test it. This is a brown orange. It's cute too. Let's go ahead and use this one for the beautiful leaves. And by the way, fall is my favorite time of the year. The colors and the leaves and the smells, the apples, the pumpkin spice flavor, everything. It's just so nice. I love the smells. The change of temperature starts cooling. It's just so beautiful. Okay, and I am going to go a little bit more brown here. I'm going to go with the E97. I just love this color. They're so pretty. And I'm going to keep it very simple because, you know, I am going to make a little green on the floor there in just a minute. Okay, it's coming together. I'm almost done, hopefully. The purse, let's see, the purse, we could go, let's see, should we do the purse? I wasn't thinking about what color to do the purse. We could do like an orange as well, or a red, the red that is almost orange. This I don't care much for the R1417 and whatever, because it's I'm a deep red color kind of person, but this one will go perfect for this theme here. Then I'm going to go with R17. And I also have R12 or R12. So again, the areas that are hidden, I make darker, or are closer to the body, I should say. And just to add some definition, I am going to do this area here darker and leave that one lighter. I think I'm going to go over with R12 just to lighten up things a little bit. There's not much of a contrast in the purse, but that's okay. Then I am going to do the bench that she's sitting on. We're going to do that gray. So I am going to go with my T's, T2, T4, and possibly T6. If I can find my T6. T4, where are you? T6. My T6 has disappeared. Well then. Oh, found it. Sorry about that. It's happening when you do a live video. Okay, let's see. So let's start with the darkest color. Let's see. So now she's sitting here. Oh, there's a leaf there. I forgot that leaf. Let me not forget that leaf. Here we go. So we go back to T6. And trust me, I have markers like everywhere. Good grief. All right, let's see. So here we're gonna go, not too much though. This is down here, which will be darker, of course. It's on the bottom there. And here, of course, we just wanna create a little bit of contrast. A little bit of contrast there. And of course here, closer to her leg, will be darker because she's casting a shadow on the bench. Then I'm going to go with T4. And I'm going to extend that color out a little more, like that. And here again, you want to create some kind of contrast there. And then finally with T2. And again, like I said before, it may look weird, but I like to start from here this way. That way I don't lose too much of my dark. That's the bench. Let's see. Okay, that's the bench. Now that we're done with that, let's see, then we want to put a little bit of green here on the bottom, and I'm going to keep that simple again. I was planning on using distress inks, but because I have the leaves there, I may get distress inks over the grass. So I am going to use G14, because even though we have fall, we still have green in the fall. It's not all orange and browns and what have you. So let's add a little bit of green to the floor here, and maybe add a little bit of orange dots here and there. So not all the grass is green, of course, but with a few splashes of, and I'm going darker here because I don't want to go too light either. So we'll leave that at that. My G12 is running a little dry, but we'll do the best we can with it. That's terrible, right? Trying to do a video and I'm running a little low, but that's because I color a lot. Oops, sorry, I'm off camera, off focus there. But I am not gonna cover a whole lot. I'm just gonna leave a little bit there. This means I have to get some more refills. And there we go on the ground. Okay. Now for this guy, so I used G14 and G12. And if you want to get even a little darker, you can go with G17. Okay, so for the sky, we're going to make it simple. I have this template that I created for my clouds, and a lot of people ask me, how do you make those clouds? And I said, well, I'm going to use my favorite one, Tumbled Glass Distress Ink. I have these little guys that a lot of people have for putting on distress inks, but I am just going to use the little pad that usually goes with it because I can control it better if I just dab it on the areas that I want. So what I do, I just kind of pull the color out after I get ink. I just do this and get some blue on there from my template, and that's all I do. It's really nothing to it. And then you repeat it again until you are happy. I didn't mask the image because I'm careful not to get ink, although sometimes I do. I'm careful not to get super close to the image so I don't get distress ink on her. But I try my best. Sometimes I do get a little bit and I try to disguise it. But see, that way I'm getting my clouds on there. And then I just go as low as I want it to be. And we're almost done, I promised. Sorry it's taking so long, but let's see, this one I want to be maybe like this. There. And I think I could stop there, maybe make a little more, maybe a few more. Why not? All right, so there's our sky. Not too hard, very simple. I love doing it because you can do a very nice sky very quickly. Then I'm going to go ahead and, so the image is fully colored. Then I had already cut, I'm going to stamp the sentiment on it. I want it to be very simple. I'm going to use a sentiment that says thanks from Inca, I can never say it, is Inca Dinka Do. They have all this wonderful thanks sentiments, but I'm going to keep it very simple. And I'm just going to say thanks because this is for the fall. reason being that, and to make sure that I line up my sentiment properly, I'm going to use my Misti, because even with certain guides that I may have, I am just terrible lining up things. So let me see if I can get this on camera. Move my things around here. So you just basically put your, let me just move this so I can focus better. So you just place it where you want it on the Misti, and you have the magnets to hold the image down while you stamp so it doesn't move. And then you position your sentiment where you want it, perfectly centered. So I wanted it about right there, maybe up here by the clouds. Right there. Then you close the door of the Misti. Let me make sure that I have it perfectly, because even like with the Misti, it's like, Lord have mercy, you can't even get it straight even with the Misti. But then once you have it on your door, then you ink it with my favorite ink, which is Memento. Then you ink it and you stamp it. Where you want it. Then you press gently and voila. And if you want it darker, you just go ahead and re-ink again. That's the beauty of the Misti, and I'm sure a lot of you know. You re-ink it, then you stamp exactly in the same spot, and voila. You have a very nice dark sentiment stamped perfectly where you wanted it. So that is my simple card, my image that I colored. I'm going to put it together for you real quick. Like I mentioned, I had already cut. I have my card base 5.5 by 4 1/4, and then just some basic white cardstock. Then I have a basil paper that I cut. It's a burgundy to match her sweater. And I am going to use my Tumbled adhesive. And I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back, center it, eyeball it, center this the best you can, or the best I can. And then you also put tape. I put tape on the back. My image, and I'm going to put it simple, keep it simple. I am very clean and simple kind of girl, and I'm going to put this right in the center, and there you have it. That is my entire card. I'm sorry it took so long, but I wanted to show you everything, how I color, and I hope that this is good for the MarkerPop Fall Giveaway Challenge, and I am excited to participate, and I'm looking forward to see all the other entries that are going to be part of this challenge. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll just put all the details at the bottom on the description, and please subscribe to my channel, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.